Hello everyone. In today's video, we'll be looking at how to promote our server to be a domain controller. To do that, go to your start and then click on the server manager. Once your server manager opens, on your right hand side, go to manage, click on manage, and then select add roles and features. Click on it. And so these are the steps that you have to go through. So we click on next and then select the installation type. You can install roles and features on running physical computer or virtual machine. So role based, so we select that and click next. So here we have select a server or virtual disk on which to install. So our server has been selected, that's our virtual machine has been selected. So we click on next. And then here we are going to install our Active Directory domain service. So we click on Active Directory domain service and then we add features. Once it's done, we click on next and then we click on next again. Here we have Active Directory domain service. We click on next and then you can choose to restart. You can check the box and click yes and then install. So let's wait for installation to complete and then we move on to the next step. Alright, once the installation is done, we need to close this window. And the next thing we do is to go here. You can see the notification. Click on the notification and then here we are going to promote our server. So promote this server to domain controller. So I'll click on that. And then here we have the deployment configuration, right? So we have 3 steps here, which says add a domain controller to an existing domain. This is the case, we don't have any existing domain. So here says add a new domain to an existing forest. We don't have that. So we click on add a new forest. So we are now creating, so add a new forest. So we have to give it a name. So here I'll give it a name as dba.com. So that will be the name of my domain. That's the domain name dba.com. Then I'll click on next. Now here I need to select the function level of the new forest. So forest function level, Windows Server 2016. So you see from 2016 to 2008. So you have all that. Now specify domain controller capabilities. We have domain name, system server, global catalog. Here we put our password. Then we click on next. Here, a delegation for this DNS server cannot be created because the authoritative parent zone cannot be found. So we leave it as it is and click on next. Let's wait for it to verify the NetBIOS name assigned to the domain and change it if necessary. So which means our domain name has been accepted. So we click on next. Once our prerequisite check is done, we can install. Now let's wait for the installation to be done. Now once the installation is done, our domain controller will need to restart itself. So let's wait for it to restart. Alright, now I'll log in my domain name. Now you can see I'm signing in into the domain, which is dba.com. So let's sign in. Alright, now we've set up our domain, or we've promoted our server to be a domain controller. Let's go to local server. When I click on local server, you should see here we have the work group now. It should change, which is our domain, which is dba.com. So now it has been changed to domain. We have dba.com now. The next thing we'll be looking at is to add other virtual machines to the domain. Okay, so to do that, let me go to tools first. Let me show you something. I'll go to tools, click on tools, and go to Active Directory users and computers. I'll show you we have, so this is our domain dba.com, and then let me click on computers. You can see we have no computer added to it. Now let's try to add a computer to this domain. So I'll go to one of the virtual machines, which is my DR. Now on my DR, what I'll do is to click on open my server manager, and then under local, I'll click on local server under properties to see computer name DR. The work group is still work group, so I'll click on work group. If I click on work group, the next thing I'll do is to click on change, and then I have work group and I have member of domain, so I'll select domain and then type in the domain name, which is dba.com. Then I'll click on OK. Now it will require for authentication, which is administrator, and then you put in the password. Click on OK, and then it should locate. Now you can see computer name domain changes. Welcome to dba.com domain. So I'll click on OK, and I'll be required to restart the machine to be added to the domain. So I'll restart it. All right, now let's log into our DR. All right, now we've logged into our DR. Let's go to our domain controller and see if our computer has been added. So go here, and then what we'll do is to refresh it. Now when I refresh computers, you can see I have DR computer added. So that's how you can add your computers to the domain controller. Okay, now the domain controller has access to control all the machines that have been added to it. If you found this tutorial very helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. In our next video, we'll be looking at how to create users and assigning permissions to those users. See you in the next one.